Test check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a test for WebEx and wherever this camera is going to. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Getting ready for the winner's interview here.
Please join me in welcoming champion of the 125th US Open, JJ Spaun. JJ, just an unbelievable day, one you'll never forget. Where did the continued belief come from?
It felt like as bad as things were going, like I just still tried to just commit to every shot. I tried to just continue to dig deep. I mean, I've been doing it my whole life. And I think that's been the biggest difference this year, is being able to do that. And fortunately, you know, I dug very deep on the back nine, and you know, things went my way, and here we are with the trophy.
Yeah, you work for this your whole life. No one can ever take that away from you. Where did this dream start, and you know, how do you put this moment into words?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I grew up watching golf. I was a young kid, wanted to play golf. I loved golf. It was a passion for me growing up, and you know, always played with my parents growing up. And you know, one thing led to another. Wasn't really groomed to be like a professional golfer. I didn't, you know, get put through academies. I didn't play the AJGA. I played local stuff. I did qualify for actually my first big USGA event, which was the US Junior. I did that 2 times when I was like 16 and 17. And that's kind of when I realized my potential. But I just kept going like one foot in front of the other, and, you know, junior golf, college golf, turning pro, and now here I am with the US Open trophy.
We're going to open it up to questions. We'll start on the left. Claire?
Congratulations. I'm wondering, during the delay, as you were walking back out, I heard your coach say something like trying too hard. What was that kind of mindset that you went back out to play with?
Which one of my coaches? Josh Gregory, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, it was on the putting green?
No, it was out on the range.
Oh, it was on the range. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of the theme for how the day was going. Was they're just like, dude, just chill. Like if you were given four shots back going into the back 9 on Monday, like you would take that. So they just said, just let it come to you. Be calm. You know, just stop trying so hard. And that's what I was doing. You know, like I felt like I had a really good chance to win the U.S. Open. You know, at the start of the day, and it just unraveled very fast. But you know, that break was actually the key for me to winning this tournament.
On the right, we're going to go Jeff and then Zach.
JJ, congratulations. Can you take us through the putt on 18? How much of a read did you get from Victor? And then did you know that if that went in that you would be champion?
I didn't look at the scoreboard. I knew based off of like what the crowd was saying that I felt like if I 2-putted, like I would probably win. But I didn't want to look because I didn't want to play defensive. Like I didn't know if I had a 2-shot lead. I didn't want to do anything dumb trying to like protect a 3-putt or something. But Victor helped me a lot. Just, you know, it was a foot left of my line, and it's pretty ironic. My first PGA Tour win, almost the same thing happened at the Valero, but Scott Stallings was in a bunker on the last hole. We were in the same group, and the back left bunker, and I hit my 3rd shot on like the back fringe, and I had to literally mark my ball for him to hit the bunker shot. And you know, same thing, splashed it out right on my line and just like fed it down to the hole. It was probably like 40-footer, and which was when I was walking up to 18, I was thinking about that moment. I was like, oh my God, like this is meant to be here, because this is the same thing that happened to me for my first win. But yeah, Victor, we kind of got a good line, a good read on the speed. I was more focused on how hard he was hitting it. I kind of knew the line already, but it looked like he gave it a pretty good whack because it started raining there for the last 10, 15 minutes. And I just tried to pick my line and put a good stroke on it, and I knew it was going to be a little slow. And about 8 feet out, I kind of went up to like the high side to see if it had a chance of going in. It was like going right in, and I was just in shock, disbelief that it went in and it was over. And yeah, here we are.
Stay on the right, Zach.
JJ, you talked about your close calls this year and how adversity is a really, really good teacher. What are those lessons that you drew from that really helped you bring it across the finish line today?
I just felt like you keep putting yourself in these positions, like eventually you're going to tick one off. I don't put myself in this position often or at all for a major, that's for sure. I mean, like this is only my 2nd US Open, but all the close calls that I've had on the PGA Tour this year, it's just been a really good experience to just never give up. And actually, like, I was having lunch with Max Homa at home. We live in the same area. We belong at the same club, and he was telling a Tiger story where he's like, as long as you just like are still there, like just you don't have to do anything crazy, especially at a U.S. Open. He's like, Tiger said this would happen, and the wind will switch, but you just gotta just stay there. Like even if you're 4 back, like you just gotta stay there. Like you don't have to do anything crazy. And I kind of was thinking about that out there this afternoon, where I was 4 back, maybe going back out after the delay, and then I made some good pars, nothing crazy, and got a really good birdie, and then next thing you know, I'm like tied for the lead, I think, and within 4 holes of the restart. So that's just kind of goes back to that, like you just try to just stay there. Like you don't have to do anything crazy, especially at a U.S. Open. So all those things came true.
We're going to go front left and then King.
Congratulations, JJ. I just want to know, what was that moment like when you saw your daughters out on 18 green with you, and what are you most proud of about your fight, not only today, but this week?
Yeah, it was a very touching moment to see like my girls there, and they've never, well, my oldest daughter, she was at the Valero when I won, and she was about the same age as my youngest daughter now. So it was so cool to just have my whole family there on Father's Day. It's just incredible. Like I have no words to describe like the moment and them being able to see me as the winner. And my daughter always asks me every time Dad goes golfing, she's like, "Were you the winner today?" And I'm just sometimes like, "Yeah, I was." And then she's like, "Well, where's my surprise?" But so today she's like, "You're the winner today." Like she got to see it. Like she didn't have to ask me. So that was a really fun moment.
On the left. Oh, back left, Kyle.
Yeah, we've heard guys like Shane Lowry and Scotty Scheffler kind of talk about the morning before they won their first major, looking in the mirror saying, "Do I have what it takes?" Then telling themselves, "I do have what it takes." Did you have a moment like that either today or this week at any point?
Well, today I was running to CVS in downtown because my daughter had a stomach bug and was vomiting all night long. So I was just like, okay. Like my wife was up at 3 a.m. and she's like, "Violet's vomiting, although she can't keep anything down." And so it was kind of a rough start to the morning. I'm not blaming that on my start, but it was just kind of like it fit the mold of what was going on, the chaos. But I don't think I had any. I didn't really like when I go back home after the round. My kids are there, and it's such a big distraction where I'm not even having to dwell on anything or think too much, which is a good thing. Like the Players was tough. I was alone that week, and I'm just kind of sitting there and, at night in my hotel room, like trying not to go on social media, trying not to go on Twitter or whatever, X. And it's nice to be able to have the kids to be around and be a dad, and that kind of keeps your mind off golf and, kind of kept me in a calm, cool, collective mindset going into today.
Second row on the right, Nick.
JJ, almost as a follow-up to that, at the Players, you said on Monday that you were going to start to let golf be golf, that you were just, golf was a thing, but more important was going home to Melody, to your daughters. How much did that play a part in what happened out there today?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you start to put expectation and that adds pressure, and you start putting, you just don't want to have that extra pressure. And you can do that easily by letting your mind wander, and what if this, and if I do this, what happens? And I used to do that all the time. Like, oh, if I win, like I can get into the Masters. If I do this, I, lock my card up for 2 years, or blah, blah, blah. And then I just started saying like, my career is my career. Like whatever happens, happens. I'm just happy to have the career that I've had, and that's kind of took a lot of pressure off my back as far as expectations on the golf course. And last year in June, I was like looking like I was going to lose my job, and kind of that was when I had that moment where if this is how I go out, well, I might as well go down swinging. It's kind of how my coach tells me about my golf shots, or like my golf swing on the course. Like if there's a challenging shot, he's like, at least you go down committing to the shot. Like don't bail one outright because you feel uncomfortable. He's like, just go down swinging. Like if you're gonna, you might as well put the swing you want on it, and if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. And that's kind of the mantra I've been having all year.
Front left, King.
Sorry, one more. When We were out there on Thursday. We talked about how you kind of admired Kobe Bryant. Was that your Kobe Bryant moment then on 18?
Yeah. Yeah, that was unbelievable. That was more like the Fisher shot with like 0.2 seconds left. But yeah, I was just, I couldn't even believe what I witnessed when that went in. Kind of like a Nick Taylor moment, but for the U.S. Open.
Right here.
JJ, how different was the golf course when you came back out, and how did you try to approach those different conditions?
It was super wet, but it was similar to like yesterday. The greens slowed down quite a bit. But I knew, with my iron game, as long as I got in the fairway, I could attack because of how soft it got. I mean, it was already pretty soft. So that's kind of, I kind of relied on the experience yesterday where it was a little slower, the greens were a lot softer, and I just tried to take what the course gave me.
Far right on the front.
JJ, you had the close call at the Players, but this was pretty much 4 days where you weren't sneaking up on anybody. You shot the 66, chipped in on the first hole, so you were in the spotlight right from the start. So how did you find that whole experience this whole week? There was no sneaking up there. You you had to manage that the whole time.
Yeah, there was no faking it. There was no hiding, since Thursday. And I think that's what I've been able to, overcome. I'm not trying to shy away from the moment. And like I just tell myself, if I can do this, like when there's no pressure or no lead, like why can't I do it when there is, So it's just trying to get over that line of handling the nerves and handling the pressure. And I really showed myself a lot today on that back nine.
On the left, Michael.
Thank you. JJ hit a spectacular second shot into number 2, but your reaction to me was even more spectacular. Wondering if you could talk us through that, please.
Yeah, we had 90, I don't know, 100 yards maybe less. But it was like a perfect kind of flighted chip sand wedge, which is what the shot called for, kind of because it's straight into the wind, how soft it was. And I hit it perfect, and it was right at it. It was just a matter of, was it the perfect distance or not? And all I heard is like a really loud, like, oh! And it wasn't like a good one. So I was like, what the hell? Did that hit the pin or something? Like, I didn't even think it hit the pin. But when I saw it coming off the green with that much speed, I'm like, that had to have hit the pin. And then I'm walking up there, fixing my pitch mark, which was a foot short of the pin. Everyone's like, that hit the pin. And during the delay, I went and watched my thing, and I was just really unlucky. It was pretty much a 2-shot swing. I mean, I was thinking that would have been pretty close with maybe inside of 5 feet if it didn't hit the flag. But yeah, it was not a good start to the day.
Most guys, really briefly, most guys are going to stomp a little bit after that. All you did was one of these.
Yeah, I mean, because it's the U.S. Open, and I like to complain, normally on the golf course, and I'm at the point where I feel like I get a lot of bad breaks that I'm just like used to it. But it was so early on in the round that I couldn't let my attitude or any frustration get to me.
Back right, Jay.
You don't usually get 90 minutes in the middle of a tense round to collect your thoughts. How did you maintain your focus while not just obsessing over shots like the flag stick and that sort of thing?
I thought it was a good thing having the delay. It happened to me at the Players earlier this year where I was kind of struggling on the front nine. I had the lead going into Sunday, and we had a 4-hour delay, I think. And, I ended up turning that round into, a nice fight where I got myself into the playoff. So all I was thinking was, and even my whole team, my coach, my caddy, they were like, oh, dude, this is exactly what we need. And it was, we went back out and capitalized on I changed my outfit. I'm like, I'm done wearing those clothes. I just needed to reset everything, kind of like start the whole routine over.
On the left, Ryan.
JJ, over the last couple of weeks, what tools has Josh Gregory given you that you didn't have before?
The ability to read lies in the rough and how to chip them with consistent contact, where you can predict like how far the ball's going to come out or how dead it's going to come out or how much effort you need to put in the swing to get the ball to where it needs to be. So definitely some mechanics, but more of like understanding what lies kind of dictate how the ball comes out. So it's been good, obviously. Well, it's funny. The first hole of the tournament, like we worked Monday through Wednesday, and the first hole of the tournament, I'm dead short-sighted on 10 in the rough, probably not far from the pin, but it was dead because it's on the wrong side of the green. And it was one of those lies where we try to, I'm not going to tell the secret, but we try to do the secret, and and I chipped it in, and my caddy goes, "Nice shot, Josh." Like, but yeah, it was nice to see that, come to fruition so quickly.
We're going to do a few more. Back right, Ryan.
After the restart, when you came back out, was there a particular moment on the golf course when you realized that you had reset yourself here and you were ready to go and were going to be in the hunt?
The tee shot on 9, like my first shot back. That was the hole we got stopped on, and I just flushed one, like a nice little cut up the left side, and I was like, all right, we're back. And then I didn't hit too many bad shots after that.
On the left here in the center.
JJ, you've touched on this a little bit, but you talked about where you were at this point last year. Can you kind of just reflect on the kind of work that you put in since then to get the top 5s that you got earlier this year to now, where you are now?
Yeah, I think it's just perseverance. I've always kind of battled through whatever it may be to kind of get to where I needed to be and get to what I wanted. And I've done this before. I've had slumps, kind of at every level. And I've always I went back and just said, you've done this before, you've been down before, you got out of it. And there's kind of like a little pattern. So hopefully I don't, do that pattern again. But it was a pretty all-time high for me.
2 more on the right, Shane.
JJ, there was a moment when Robert McIntyre finished at +1 when everything was happening that seemed to give momentum to him. I think like Sam was making bogey, Victor, Terrell, I think you had even just made bogey. So again, it looked like all the momentum was him, and then the way it turned around on 17 and 18 from a distance, from a storyteller standpoint, there was something almost romantic about it, even watching you hit the approach on 18 from the mist. So my long-winded question is there a spiritual element, a romantic element that you look at, maybe not just in those moments because it was so soon, but just in golf in general? Do you ever kind of get that sort of extra feeling?
Yeah, it's definitely like a storybook fairy tale ending. Kind of the underdog, fighting back, not giving up, never quitting. Yeah, with the rain and everything, and then the putt. It's just, you couldn't write a better story. And I'm just so fortunate to be on the receiving end of that.
Thank you.
On the left, Brentley.
You talked about Josh earlier, but Adam and you linked up a few years back, and he's given you some talks over the years. Can you just talk about the Lou Holtz talk you guys had on Thursday, and how that kind of got your mind right before you went out and ultimately won this thing?
Yeah, he loves to talk about Lou Holtz, how he would kind of tell Adam about his stories to get his team pumped up, and I can't phrase it how he does, but I'm not even going to try to say it. But he's been doing that a lot recently to kind of get my attitude and mindset right, and I think that's kind of one of the missing ingredients that I've been lacking the last couple years or so. And it's nice to kind of feel confident in what I'm doing, but also have the mental side to it as well.
And then to follow up on that, I see you carrying your daughter up the steps after making that putt. Are you the luckiest guy in the world after what happened these last 4 days?
100%, at least in my mind. Just to finish it off like that is just a dream. You watch other people do it. You see, the Tiger chip. You see Nick Taylor's putt. You see, crazy moments. And to have my own moment like that at this championship is, I'll never forget this moment for the rest of my life.
Well, one more time, our 2025 U.S. Open champion, JJ Spawn.
Thank you, guys.